Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Welcome in Live at 5. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpond. You're watching Mississippi Live Weather. I am obviously going to be here with our meteorologist Gabe Manor in a minute as we're looking at what eventually will be relief to heat. But that is obviously not where we find ourselves today, as we are dangerously hot and tracking that here in the Room to Room Weather Center at 5 p.m. So as we look at our headlines for today, extreme heat warnings, they're in effect now. That is the highest level heat alert that the National Weather Service puts out. We have those in place for most locations out there today and could begin for tomorrow, as I think the peak of our heat is still ahead. Rain chances are going to increase by midweek, and we do think that that will have a negative impact on temperatures. Negative being take them down somewhat, which is probably positive in a lot of our minds, right? Those rain chances will bring us significantly cooler temperatures by the weekend, but it's also a front. A legitimate cold front moving toward us. How far does it drop those temperatures? We've updated that forecast, and we'll have that coming up here in a couple minutes. Outside, though, this afternoon, the heat has been the story. Kosciuszko, as we look back, kind of a southwesterly sort of direction there, it feels like 106, and that's better than some other locations. 95, that temperature, our winds west, that slightly drier direction, one of the things helping to limit the overall coverage of rain today, and probably the next couple of days staying fairly limited. Outside in Columbus, our Mississippi Department of Transportation camera there comes in 106. And again, a little bit of a west-northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. It's not enough to really make a difference. It still feels very, very sultry and obviously extremely hot. And our camera in Smithville, the North Mississippi Storm Chasers there, for a change, one of our cooler spots in Monroe County, 104 for that feels like temperature. Obviously, we have seen the peak of those heat indices a couple hours ago, but we also had a couple isolated showers out there that maybe helped in a few spots. But this is the story. Looking at the current alerts, these pink alerts, these are all locations where we have those extreme heat warnings in effect. That's the highest level heat alert that the National Weather Service puts out, and it is in place for all locations north of Lowndes, Oktibbeha, Choctaw, and Montgomery County. Now, that's not to diminish where you're at there, Talla, Winston, Noxubee, or out here Pickens, Lamar, Marion, and Franklin. That is just to say that the most significant, the most dangerous heat that's most likely to cause the heat risk certainly centered out here closer to Yalobusha County, Lafayette County, and then into the Delta. We'll look at those heat indices, and you'll note that that's where they are the most significant. In our entire region, 2 spots there. We show 109 there in Columbus and Macon, 109 in Senatobia, Greenville, but then also 113, that reporting station there, Amory, Monroe County Airport, typically reads a little bit high. Either way, it's dangerously hot, all locations. And when you look at the actual temperatures, that's where it's hiding in plain sight, right? Because the temperatures say lower 90s and then some mid 90s up there. You pour 97 degrees there in Bruce and Grenada. But some spots a little bit cooler than that. And the heat index obviously pushed way above that. So dangerous heat the story into the evening. When does it start to subside? Here's the deal. Even with 92 degrees at 6 p.m. or even 84 at 9, we're adding at least 10 degrees to the actual temperature for what it feels like, meaning that 84 still feeling best case scenario 95, 96, or even 97 degrees at 9 p.m. That's why obviously, and this sounds crazy, so I shouldn't say obviously, you actually have to take your thermostat up a little bit in this situation. We don't want to freeze up those units. They're working overtime, and we'll continue to do that. We're 80 by midnight, 78 by 3 o'clock in the morning, with low temperatures upper to maybe best case scenario mid-70s to begin the first part of your morning on your Tuesday. Looking at our surface analysis on the wide shot here on Doppler radar, high pressure down there in the Gulf of Mexico has been the story, and it is moving just a little bit. It has been heading back toward the west over the last couple of days. As that has happened, we find ourselves with a little bit more of kind of a northwesterly flow. And up here, this is all drier air. And so that slightly drier air gives us just a little wiggle room to push the actual temperature up that last couple degrees, which is why I think some car and bank thermometers could cross the triple-digit point in the next couple of days. I don't know if any official reporting stations will, but that drier air, if that were to be the case, would be the story and could possibly help us out. But you go up far enough north and west, we do have a front not moving at this point. It's going to eventually get a kick of some cooler temperatures behind that. It's just going to take some time before that ends up being the case. So this ridge of high pressure, of course, down there in the Gulf of Mexico, that's sliding away from us. And so what happens is we also have little waves of energy kind of moving in from the north and west. The jet stream is kind of up here, well back to the north and west. But we get these little waves that could just come just on the south side of it. And that's where our limited rain chances over the next couple of days could end up coming from as that H there gradually slides a little farther back to the south and west. So you'll notice again a couple of isolated showers showing up during the overnight hours, actually, believe it or not, near the Alabama-Mississippi state line. In general, not expecting significant chances there. And largely, as you can see, we're staying dry into the first part of your Tuesday. Now, rain chances do get a little better by afternoon, but from 78 at 6 o'clock in the morning all the way to 87 degrees at 9 a.m. And that means that feels like that heat index temperature is going to be up in excess of probably 98, 99, if not 100 degrees at 9 a.m. So we are very hot to begin the day. 95 at noon, 98 with heat indices up in excess of 110, and those limited rain chances, we're hoping that those are more significant for some spots tomorrow. And that's one of the things we're going to be tracking with our meteorologist Gabe Maynor here in 60 seconds, is looking at where those rain chances are the greatest the next couple of days. Also looking at where that heat risk is the most significant as Mississippi Live Weather at 5 continues right after this.
As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
We're not just roofers, we're licensed contractors. Local, trusted, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews from your neighbors.
We don't cut corners, only complete systems with premium warranties. And we keep you informed every step of the way.
We're detailed, thorough, and clean. And we make it affordable, with financing available as low as 0% and same as cash plans. We're not just roofing houses, we're earning trust one neighbor at a time. Call Absolute Restoration.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I hope you guys have found ways to stay cool, drink plenty of water, and are ready for even more heat heading into our forecast tomorrow. Linda in Columbus showcased the beautiful conditions we had all across North Mississippi. Yes, there were a few isolated showers, but where there weren't showers, there were plenty of blue skies with that sunshine reaching the ground, warming us up nicely. But just a great shot down there in the Columbus Waterway, just showcasing those beautiful blue skies. But temperatures right now, we talk about Columbus, 96, Houston, 98, and we're seeing a lot of 97, 98 out in the Mississippi Delta with 99 there towards Clarksdale. So it's hot out there in the Delta per usual, but this is actually even warmer than where we were sitting at yesterday. Part of that warming trend that we've been forecasting for and still experiencing, and will continue to experience into our Tuesday. So a 3, 4, even 5 and 6 degree temperature change over the last 24 hours from where we sat yesterday. So those temperatures, if you notice that they feel even warmer, well, that's exactly why. Mississippi Live Weather Radar tracked a few showers that were trying to move through the area earlier this afternoon. Now, since dissipated out, and the next chance for moisture is really out there towards Florence and Franklin and Marion County. That's where those pop-up showers are remaining, with that primary threat still out there towards Alabama and further north and east. So Day Planner today has a very dry forecast for any evening plans, with a few isolated showers trying to make an appearance. But again, the further north and east you are, the higher likelihood. The more south and west you are, the higher likelihood for heat. So there's the difference in forecast. So Monday evening, here's a look at those isolated showers that do try to form, but primarily that threat will be into our overnight hours, with that threat continuing to move into Marion and Franklin County. So northwest Alabama, the primary threshold, and not really expecting it to move too much more into North Mississippi. So again, we're staying on the drier side overnight. So for any evening plans on your Monday, looks good to go. 10 p.m. still seeing those isolated showers out there towards Florence and Huntsville. Again, just not pushing across the Alabama state line. So we're going to keep those dry conditions and keep those calm forecasts for the start of our Tuesday. But the temperatures, definitely the story heading into tomorrow morning. Where we'll sit is about the mid to upper 70s, which with this time of year, we expect 73, 74 degrees to start out the day. So this isn't much abnormal, but it does show that slight warm up from where we typically should be at. And if that's not enough emphasis, then come the afternoon, you'll definitely see it in more detail. So into the rest of our morning, you can see those pop-up showers do try to form as some of that northwest flow tries to cycle in a little bit of that moisture, that jet stream, just as Matt was talking about, those little bits of disturbances that could happen. Well, that's what we'd see. But really not expecting those showers to be towards our morning commute. It's primarily going to be towards the afternoon, where we're wrapping up the day, that we might come across one of those brief isolated downpours. So by lunchtime, still sticking to the drier conditions, with a few clouds trying to pop up. These are high-end cirrus clouds, or some of our cumulus clouds, like what Linda submitted, those puffy cotton ball-like cloud structures. That's what we'll see heading into our lunchtime forecast. By the time we get towards the afternoon, there's a look at some of those brief showers that do try to form. Again, just popping up around I-55, more coverage back towards the northern half of the state by 3, and so hopefully getting some of that rain-cooled air across the state, and percentages look pretty good that we will see at least a few of those isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms. So rumbles of thunder not going to be out of the question either. We're not expecting anything severe. That's the good thing with this forecast. So just that needed rain-cooled air and needed rainfall to accommodate for some of those drought conditions that we're currently sitting under, especially out there towards Grenada and Yalobusha County. So high temperatures for your Tuesday. You can see upper 90s with a few triple digits trying to happen out there in the Mississippi Delta. With some of that moisture moving in, might be more of an uphill battle for those those triple digit temperatures to move in the forecast, but that's something we are watching in the next 24 hours. Heat indices 110 plus in a lot of locations, because whenever you get those isolated showers, they fall, cool off the ground, but as soon as they do, they then turn into evaporation and cause that steam to happen. So it gets that stickiness up, gets that moisture value up, and paired with the temperatures, I mean, it's just going to be a hot and muggy day. Whether you get showers or not, hot and muggy day for sure. So that's why those heat advisories and warnings are in place. But heading into our Tuesday night, all of those temperatures will start to fizzle off just a bit, literally fizzle, because they'll be so steamy. But by 10 p.m., some of those isolated showers lingering around, but the daytime heating goes away. So do those rain chances, staying on the drier side into our Wednesday. Wednesday morning, similar to Tuesday, starting off with a few isolated showers, at least trying to form. But there's our threat. Come noon on our Wednesday, a lot of that rainfall pushing into the area along the Alabama state line. This is the threshold that we are watching for the rain chances on our Wednesday. It's primarily going to be out there towards the Alabama state line, but heightened coverage, more impactful rainfall, and some of us could be seeing those showers off and on all day long. So make sure to have that rain gear ready, because that saturated forecast, it's going to be cooling us off, but giving us that much needed rainfall like I mentioned. Into the overnight hours, a lot of those chances dissipate off, with a few exceptions overnight. I mean, we're keeping 80 to 90% dry into our overnight and into the start of our Thursday. So there will be breaks overnight, but do expect some afternoon showers to take place for our Tuesday and really all the way into the weekend. High temperatures still for your Wednesday, where it's drier. Upper 90s still expected, but the further east you go, where there's more chances of rain, we're talking mid to even low 90s. So that cooling trend happening almost immediately after Tuesday, and then it will really pick up by the weekend. As Matt was talking about, much cooler temperatures to be expected in the oncoming days. Heat indices still going to be 105 plus for a lot of us, so heat warnings and heat advisories still going to be issued. Make sure to have that the water handy as well as the umbrella, the two most essential things you need to survive a summer in Mississippi. But high temperatures, you can see right there. I mean, we're just going down the roller coaster after climbing it the past couple of days, 98 to 96, all the way down to 90 by Friday. all the way into the upper 80s towards the weekend and into the work week. I mean, this is going to be a most ideal forecast. I'm just so excited about it. And heat indices follow that same trend. I mean, we top out at right around 115 for our Tuesday, but then we just slowly decline to a point where it's not even on the map. That's how much of a disparity we're talking about from Monday into next Monday from Tuesday. So we have plenty to look forward to once we get past the next 24 hours where it's going to be the hottest that it'll be all week long. Current alerts, still going to see those extreme heat warnings in effect until Thursday morning for a lot of us, but then we start to transition into more heat advisories, which is 105 plus for a minimum of 2 hours. And then as we head further into the work week, we'll see those advisories and warnings become more limited to pretty much none at all, probably by Sunday and Monday. So plenty to look forward to over the next 7 days or so, but plenty of rainfall as well. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about is just what to expect with those rain chances, walking through the forecasted rainfall in detail, and also walking through if there's any significant weather threat. I know I saw some folks down in chat that were asking about, is there going to be a tornado threat? We're not expecting that with this outlook, but up towards the north, a little bit higher chances. We'll be tracking that in much more detail with Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon on Mississippi Live Weather at 6. So make sure to keep it here for the very latest as we break down basically the percentages of rain and what to expect with the rainfall going forward. And one of the ways to do so, Mississippi Live Weather app. Go to iOS and Android today, scan the QR code on your screen and download that app to stream 24/7 coverage and also to get the 7-day, hourly forecast, whatever you have planned, wherever you have it planned. It covers weather, not just in Mississippi, but all across the world. So we thank you so much for joining us tonight on Mississippi Live Weather. We expect to see you back here in a couple minutes on Mississippi Live Weather at 6, breaking down everything you need to know about the rain chances moving forward.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. We knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Laupon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Laupon has proven himself trustworthy